high in the branches of an ancient oak tree, where the leaves whispered gentle lullabies, there lived a family of songbirds in their cozy nest. The nest was woven with the softest feathers and the most delicate strands of silk-soft grass, making it the perfect place to rest as evening approached. Mother Bird had carefully crafted this special home, weaving love into every tiny twig. Her 3 little chicks, with their downy feathers as soft as clouds, nestled close together as the golden sun began its slow dance toward the horizon. The evening air was warm and sweet, carrying the gentle fragrance of sleepy flowers closing their petals for the night. As twilight began to paint the sky in gentle shades of lavender and rose, Mother Bird gathered her little ones closer. "Time to prepare for sleep, my darlings," she cooed softly. The smallest chick yawned, his tiny beak opening wide as his eyes grew heavy. His siblings snuggled closer, their feathers brushing together like whispered secrets. The forest around them was beginning its nighttime symphony. Crickets played their quiet violins, while the evening breeze conducted a gentle melody through the leaves. Far below, a stream hummed a peaceful song as it flowed over smooth, round stones. Each sound blended together into nature's perfect lullaby. Mother Bird began her evening ritual, smoothing each chick's feathers with her gentle beak. "Rest your wings," she hummed softly. "Let your thoughts float away like gentle clouds in the evening sky." The first little chick closed his eyes, imagining himself drifting on soft cotton cloud pillows. "Listen to the evening song," Mother Bird continued, her voice as soft as moonlight. "Feel the peaceful rhythm of the forest's heart." The second chick nestled deeper into the nest, feeling the warmth of her siblings and the comfort of their cozy home. Her small body grew heavier with each peaceful breath. The moonlight began to filter through the leaves, creating patterns of silver light that danced slowly across the nest. Like a gentle blanket, it covered the forest in its soft, glowing embrace. Stars began to twinkle overhead, each one a tiny nightlight, watching over sleeping creatures below. Mother Bird spread her wings slightly, creating a warm canopy over her drowsy chicks. "The moon is rising," she sang softly, bringing dreams on silver wings. The stars are singing their quiet songs, blessing each sleeping thing. The third chick yawned once more, his little eyes fluttering in the peaceful darkness. A gentle night wind carried the scent of jasmine and evening primrose, flowers that only shared their sweet perfume when the world grew quiet. The breeze whispered ancient lullabies, passed down through generations of trees, each leaf adding its own gentle note to the melody. "Sleep now, my precious ones," Mother Bird murmured, "while the night wraps its velvet wings around our nest." She began to hum a soft, wordless tune, one that seemed to blend with the very breath of the sleeping forest. The sound floated through the air like feathers on a gentle breeze. Below their nest, the forest settled into its nighttime rhythm. Soft moth wings fluttered past like drifting flower petals. An owl glided silently through the trees, its wings making no more sound than a passing cloud. Even the leaves seemed to move more slowly, as if the whole world was preparing for sleep. The 3 little chicks were growing heavier, their eyes closing longer with each peaceful blink. The smallest one made a tiny, contented sound, like a falling leaf touching the ground. His sister nuzzled closer, her breathing becoming slow and steady. The third chick was already floating in peaceful dreams. Mother Bird continued her gentle song. weaving memories of the day into sweet dreams for her little ones. She sang of sunny meadows and gentle breezes, of soft rain on leaves and rainbow-crowned clouds. Her voice merged with the evening sounds until it was impossible to tell where one ended and the other began. As the night deepened, the stars grew brighter, each one twinkling like a loving eye, watching over the sleeping world. The moon's silver light filtered through the leaves, touching each sleeping chick with its gentle blessing. Mother Bird's song grew softer and softer, becoming no more than a whispered breath. The nest swayed ever so gently in the night breeze, rocking like a cradle suspended between earth and sky. The ancient oak tree held them securely in its strong arms, its leaves providing a sheltering canopy of peace. Each breath the sleeping chicks took was matched by the slow, steady rhythm of the sleeping forest. Now the only sounds were the softest whispers of wind through leaves, the distant murmur of the stream, and the peaceful breathing of 3 sleeping chicks. Mother Bird gazed lovingly at her sleeping family, her heart full of quiet joy. The night wrapped them all in its gentle embrace, keeping them safe until the dawn's first light would softly wake them once again. In the peaceful darkness, the nest became a tiny island of dreams, floating in a sea of starlight and shadow. Mother Bird's eyes grew heavy as she listened to the breathing of her sleeping chicks. The forest lullaby grew fainter and fainter until all that remained was the sound of peaceful sleep, carrying them all gently through the quiet night. In a peaceful forest where the moonlight painted silver patterns on the ground, there lived a wise old owl named Luna. She had the softest feathers that glowed like starlight, and her golden eyes held all the warmth of summer evenings. Every night, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars began to twinkle, Luna would awaken and prepare for her special evening ritual. Luna loved nothing more than sharing her gentle songs with all the woodland creatures who needed help falling asleep. Her voice was as soft as falling leaves and as soothing as gentle rain upon moss-covered stones. Each evening, she would spread her wings and glide silently through the forest, watching over her friends as they prepared for their nightly rest. On this particular evening, the moon was especially bright, casting a peaceful glow through the whispering leaves. Luna noticed her friend Benjamin, a young rabbit, still hopping about in the clover meadow. His eyes were wide, and his little nose twitched with leftover energy from the day. Luna floated down beside him, her wings making no sound as she landed on a nearby log. "Why are you still awake, little Benjamin?" Luna asked in her gentle, musical voice. "The crickets have already begun their evening lullaby." Benjamin's ears drooped slightly as he looked up at his wise friend. "I just can't seem to feel sleepy, Luna. The day was so wonderful. I don't want it to end." Luna smiled softly, understanding in her golden eyes. "The night has its own special magic," she whispered. "Would you like to hear about it?" Benjamin nodded eagerly, settling himself in the soft clover as Luna began to sing her special nighttime song. Her melody told of stars dancing in velvet skies, of moonbeams playing hide and seek between silver clouds, and of gentle breezes carrying sweet dreams to sleeping creatures. As she sang, other forest animals began to gather around. There was Sophie the squirrel, who had been restlessly arranging her acorns, and Oliver the young deer, whose eyes were already becoming heavy with sleep. Luna's song painted pictures of peaceful places in their minds, She sang of soft moss beds and warm burrows, of quiet streams flowing under starlight, and of friendly shadows that kept watch over sleeping friends. Her voice carried the essence of peace itself, like a warm blanket settling over the forest. As she continued her gentle song, Benjamin's hopping slowed, and he snuggled deeper into the clover. Sophie's busy paws became still, and Oliver's head nodded gently. Luna sang of the moon's gentle journey across the night sky, of how it watched over all the sleeping creatures below with its silver light. The wind joined Luna's song, rustling through the leaves with a soft whisper. The crickets added their gentle harmony, and even the stars seemed to twinkle in time with her melody. She sang of the peace that comes with nightfall, of how the forest holds its creatures safe and warm as they dream. Luna's song told of tomorrow's promises, of new adventures waiting after restful sleep, and of how the night wrapped everything in its gentle embrace. She reminded her friends that sleep was a beautiful gift, a time when their bodies could rest and their minds could dream of wonderful things. As her song continued, Luna noticed how Benjamin's breathing had become slow and steady, how Sophie had curled up into a fluffy ball, and how Oliver had found a soft bed of leaves beneath an old oak tree. Still, she kept singing, her voice growing softer and softer. She sang of peaceful gardens, where flowers nodded their sleepy heads, of quiet ponds, where water lilies dreamed beneath the stars, and of gentle clouds that drifted like soft sheep across the night sky. Her song carried messages of comfort and safety, reminding every creature that they were protected under the watchful eyes of the moon and stars. The night grew deeper, and Luna's song became as soft as falling snow. She sang of sweet dreams floating on moonbeams, of starlight tucking in each sleeping creature, and of how the night held them all in its gentle arms. Her melody wrapped around them like a cozy blanket, keeping them warm and safe until morning. As the last notes of her song floated away on the evening breeze, Luna looked around at her sleeping friends with satisfaction. Benjamin was curled up in a ball of soft fur, his ears gently twitching as he dreamed. Sophie's tail was wrapped around her like a fluffy blanket, and Oliver's breath came in peaceful sighs. Luna spread her wings and silently glided up to her favorite branch, where she could watch over her sleeping friends. The moon smiled down at the peaceful scene, its gentle light making everything glow with silver magic. The stars twinkled their approval, and the night wrapped everything in its soft, dark blanket. And as Luna settled onto her branch, she too began to feel sleepy. The forest was quiet now, filled only with the gentle sounds of peaceful breathing and soft cricket songs. She closed her golden eyes, knowing that tomorrow evening she would again share her special songs with her friends, helping them find their way to sweet dreams and peaceful sleep. The night continued its gentle journey, carrying all the sleeping creatures in its arms. And if you listened very carefully, you might still hear the echo of Luna's lullaby, floating on the evening breeze, bringing peaceful dreams to all who heard it. In a peaceful forest, where the evening light turned everything soft and golden, there lived a tiny bluebird named Luna. She was known throughout the woodland for having the most gentle and soothing voice anyone had ever heard. Each evening, as the sun began to set and the first stars appeared in the lavender sky, Luna would perch on her favorite branch and prepare for her special evening ritual. Luna's feathers were as soft as morning mist, and her eyes sparkled like dewdrops in the moonlight. She had learned her special bedtime song from her grandmother, who had learned it from her grandmother before her. It was a melody as old as the ancient oak trees and as gentle as falling flower petals. As twilight settled over the forest, Luna noticed how the evening breeze carried the sweet scent of honeysuckle and jasmine. She watched as fireflies began their slow, peaceful dance among the ferns below. The moon rose higher in the sky, casting its silver light through the leaves, creating patterns that looked like lace on the forest floor. Time to help everyone rest, Luna whispered to herself, fluffing her feathers and taking a deep, calm breath. She began to sing her special lullaby, her voice as soft as falling snow. Moonbeams soft and starlight bright guide us gently through the night. Below her branch, a family of rabbits snuggled closer together in their burrow, their eyes growing heavy as Luna's song floated down to them. Dream of meadows sweet and fair, gentle breezes in the air, she continued, her melody wrapping around them like a warm blanket. In a nearby hollow, a young deer named Maple rested his head on a bed of moss, listening to Luna's soothing voice. The song reminded him of warm summer afternoons and the gentle touch of his mother's nose against his fur. His eyelids began to feel wonderfully heavy. A family of mice, curled up in their nest, made of soft grass and downy feathers, sighed contentedly as Luna's song drifted through their home. Floating clouds and silver streams carry you to peaceful dreams, she sang, her voice becoming even softer. High in the branches, baby squirrels nestled closer to their mother, their busy day of gathering acorns fading into sweet drowsiness. Luna's song touched every corner of the forest, like gentle moonlight spreading through the trees. Flowers nodding, day is done, stars are twinkling, one by one, Luna continued, watching as more fireflies joined the peaceful dance below. Their light grew dimmer and dimmer as they too began to feel sleepy. A wise old owl who usually stayed awake at night found himself swaying gently to Luna's lullaby. Even he couldn't resist the peaceful feeling that came with her song. Rest your head and close your eyes beneath the velvet evening skies. The night flowers slowly closed their petals, and the evening primrose released its sweet perfume into the air. Luna's voice became as gentle as a cloud passing across the moon. Whispered wishes, dreams so deep, guide you softly off to sleep. As she sang, Luna noticed how the forest seemed to breathe together, rising and falling in perfect harmony. The leaves moved slower in the evening breeze, and even the stream seemed to quiet its bubbling to listen to her song. Night after night, Luna shared her gift with the forest. Sometimes young animals would ask her where she learned her special lullaby. She would smile gently and tell them about the long line of singing birds in her family, each one passing down the gift of peaceful sleep to the next generation. Every creature needs good rest, Luna would say softly, just as every flower needs the dew and every tree needs the moonlight. Her wisdom was as gentle as her song, helping everyone understand the importance of peaceful sleep. As her lullaby continued, Luna watched the moon climb higher in the sky. Drifting softly, free from care, evening peace is everywhere, she sang, her voice becoming as soft as moth wings. The stars twinkled above like tiny guardian lights, watching over all the sleeping creatures below. The night grew deeper, and Luna's song became slower and more peaceful. Moonlight whispers, starlight gleams, float away on gentle dreams, she sang, her voice barely more than a whisper now. Even the crickets slowed their evening song to match her gentle rhythm. One by one, the forest creatures drifted into peaceful sleep, wrapped in the comfort of Luna's lullaby. The rabbits dreamed of sweet clover, the deer of sunny meadows, and the mice of warm nests and tender seeds. As the night grew still and quiet, Luna's song became softer and softer, like falling feathers or drifting snowflakes. Sleep now, peaceful, safe, and sound, while the moon watches all around, she sang, her voice merging with the gentle night sounds. Finally, when every creature was sleeping soundly, Luna would sing the last notes of her lullaby, as soft as starlight on water. Until morning light appears, sweet dreams to all my woodland dears. Then she would tuck her head under her wing, surrounded by the peaceful night she had helped create. And so, night after night, season after season, Luna shared her gift of peaceful sleep with all her forest friends. Her gentle song became part of the forest itself, as natural as the rising moon, and as comforting as a mother's embrace. In the heart of the peaceful woodland, under the watchful stars, all was calm, all was quiet, and in a cozy hollow of an ancient oak tree lived a gentle owl named Ollie. His feathers were as soft as whispered wishes, colored in warm browns and creamy whites that reminded everyone of fluffy clouds at sunset. Ollie loved nothing more than the peaceful moments when day turned to night, and the world became quiet and still. As the sun slowly dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in soft purples and deep blues, Ollie awakened from his peaceful daytime slumber. He carefully preened his downy feathers, making them extra fluffy and perfect for his nighttime flight. The evening air was warm and gentle, carrying the sweet scent of blooming moonflowers. From his perch in the old oak tree, Ollie watched as the first stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky. They looked like tiny diamonds scattered across a velvet blanket, each one twinkling with its own special light. The moon, round and full, cast a soft silver glow over the sleeping forest below. Tonight, Ollie decided to explore some of his favorite peaceful places in the forest. His wings, specially designed by nature for silent flight, carried him smoothly through the cool night air. Each wing beat was as quiet as a falling leaf, allowing him to glide like a gentle cloud across the star-filled sky. First, Ollie visited the peaceful meadow where wild grass swayed softly in the evening breeze. The tall grass looked like waves in a silver sea under the moonlight, moving back and forth in a gentle dance. Little field mice scurried below, their movements as soft as whispers in the quiet night. Near the meadow's edge, Ollie spotted his friend Luna, a wise old rabbit who loved to watch the stars. Luna's fur gleamed silver in the moonlight as she nibbled on clover leaves. "Good evening, Ollie," she whispered, her voice as gentle as the evening breeze. "The night is especially peaceful today." Ollie landed softly beside Luna, his talons barely making a sound as they touched the dewy grass. Together, they watched shooting stars streak across the sky, making wishes on each one. Luna shared stories about the constellations above, speaking in soft, soothing tones that blended with the nighttime sounds. After bidding farewell to Luna, Ollie flew to the quiet pond, where water lilies floated like little boats on the mirror-smooth surface. The moon's reflection danced on the water, creating patterns of light that sparkled like countless tiny stars. A family of ducks slept peacefully among the reeds, their heads tucked under their wings. As Ollie glided over the pond, he noticed his friend Willow, the wise old tree who stood at the water's edge. Willow's branches swayed gently, creating peaceful shadows that danced on the water. Her leaves rustled softly, telling stories of countless peaceful nights just like this one. Higher and higher, Ollie soared until he could see the entire sleeping forest below. From this height, the world looked like a cozy patchwork quilt, with dark patches of trees and lighter patches of meadows. The river that wound through the forest gleamed like a silver ribbon in the moonlight. Ollie spotted other nighttime friends as he flew. Cricket, who played gentle lullabies with his legs, and Firefly, who created tiny dots of soft light that danced through the darkness. Each creature contributed to the peaceful symphony of the night, making it feel like a warm, comforting blanket had settled over the forest. As the night grew deeper, Ollie visited the ancient pine grove where the air was filled with a soothing pine scent. The tall trees swayed gently, their needles creating a soft, swooshing sound like distant ocean waves. Here, Ollie found his friend Echo, a small bat who loved to share quiet stories about the forest's dreams. Together, Ollie and Echo watched as clouds drifted lazily across the moon, creating soft shadows that moved like gentle giants across the forest floor. They spoke in hushed tones about the beauty of the night and the peace that came with darkness. As the first hints of dawn began to color the eastern sky, Ollie knew it was time to return to his cozy hollow. He said goodbye to Echo and began his journey home, gliding through the cool morning air. The stars were beginning to fade, like tiny candles being gently blown out one by one. Back in his hollow, Ollie settled onto his soft bed of downy feathers and moss. He could hear the early morning birds beginning their gentle songs, welcoming the new day. The night's peaceful adventures had left him feeling content and sleepy. As Ollie closed his eyes, he thought about all the wonderful, quiet moments he had shared with his friends. He remembered the twinkling stars, the gentle breeze, the smooth pond, and the soft grass in the meadow. Each memory was like a sweet lullaby, helping him drift into peaceful dreams. The ancient oak tree creaked softly, singing a quiet lullaby of its own. Ollie's breathing became slow and steady as sleep gently wrapped around him like a warm blanket. In his dreams, he continued to soar through star-filled skies, carrying peace and tranquility wherever his silent wings took him. And so, as the sun rose higher in the sky, Ollie slept peacefully in his cozy hollow, knowing that when night fell again, new gentle adventures would be waiting for him in the quiet forest. The day creatures went about their activities quietly, careful not to disturb the sleeping owl, who had spent his night spreading peace and calm throughout the forest. High above the sleeping world, where the sky stretches endlessly in shades of soft blue and gentle gray, lived a family of fluffy clouds. Among them was a young cloud named Cirrus, who was as light and wispy as a feather floating in the morning breeze. Cirrus loved watching the older clouds as they drifted peacefully across the sky, carrying precious water to the earth below. Every morning, Cirrus would wake as the sun's warm golden light painted the horizon in soft pastels. The young cloud would watch and wonder as the elder clouds gathered moisture from the sparkling oceans and lifted it high into the cool, quiet air. Cirrus noticed how they moved with such grace, like dancers in the endless ballet of the sky. "Dear Grandmother Cloud," Cirrus whispered one peaceful morning, "how do you know when it's time to make rain?" Grandmother Cloud, who was round and full of wisdom, smiled softly. Her edges were tinged with silver as she gently swayed in the morning light. "Making rain is like learning to dance, little one," she answered in her soothing voice. "It takes patience, practice, and a heart full of kindness." Grandmother Cloud explained that every drop of rain was a precious gift to the world below. She showed Cirrus how to gather tiny droplets of water from the warm ocean, letting them rise up like peaceful dreams into the cool morning air. "Watch closely," she whispered, as countless sparkles of moisture danced around them both. Day after day, Cirrus practiced gathering water droplets. Sometimes the young cloud would float beside the peaceful mountains, learning how the cool air helped the droplets grow bigger and heavier. Other times, Cirrus would drift over quiet forests, watching how other clouds shared their rain with the grateful trees below. As time passed gently by, like soft breezes in the evening sky, Cirrus began to understand the delicate balance of making rain. The young cloud learned that when many tiny droplets came together, they would become heavy with love and ready to fall as gentle rain. It was like a tender lullaby sung from the sky to the earth. One particularly peaceful afternoon, while floating over a sleepy meadow, Cirrus met another young cloud named Cumulus. Cumulus was round and fluffy, like a soft pillow drifting in the breeze. Together, they practiced gathering water droplets, sharing stories of their experiences in the vast, quiet sky. Sometimes, Cumulus confided in a gentle whisper, "I worry that I'll never learn to make rain properly." Cirrus responded with warmth and understanding. Grandmother Cloud says that every cloud learns in its own time, just as every flower blooms when it's ready. As the two friends practiced together, they discovered that making rain was easier when they worked as one. Their droplets would dance and swirl together, growing bigger and heavier until they were ready to fall. The rain they made was soft and gentle, like tender kisses falling on the sleeping earth below. Grandmother Cloud watched proudly as Cirrus and Cumulus learned to make rain together. She showed them how to move slowly and steadily across the sky, sharing their precious water with all the places that needed it. "Remember," she would say in her warm, comforting voice, "the best rain falls gently, like sweet dreams floating down from the sky." As the seasons drifted by like peaceful thoughts, Cirrus grew more confident in the art of making rain. The young cloud learned that sometimes the gentlest rain could bring the most joy to the world below. Flowers would lift their sleepy faces to catch the drops, and trees would sway contentedly in the soft, misty air. On quiet evenings, Cirrus would often float beside Grandmother Cloud, watching as the sun painted the sky in soft shades of pink and gold. Together, they would make the softest rain of all, the kind that falls like whispered lullabies, helping the world below drift peacefully into dreams. As night approached and stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky, Cirrus would remember all the lessons learned about making rain. The young cloud had discovered that the most important thing was not how much rain you could make, but how gently and lovingly you could share it with the world. And so, as the moon rose like a silver guardian in the night sky, Cirrus and the other clouds would continue their peaceful dance across the heavens. They would carry their precious droplets of water, ready to share them as gentle rain whenever the earth needed their soothing touch. With each passing day, the clouds would continue their gentle work, making rain that fell like sweet dreams upon the sleeping world below. And as they drifted peacefully through the quiet night, they knew that tomorrow would bring another chance to share their gift of gentle rain with all the waiting world. High in the tallest oak tree of the peaceful forest, where the evening breeze whispered soft secrets to the leaves, lived a loving mother bird and her 3 precious chicks. Their nest was woven with the softest down feathers, delicate twigs, and wisps of cotton that had drifted on gentle spring breezes. As the golden sun began to sink behind the distant purple mountains, painting the sky in soft shades of pink and lavender, Mommy Bird knew it was time for her little ones to settle down for sleep. The day had been filled with gentle adventures, learning to stretch their tiny wings, watching clouds drift by, and listening to the forest's peaceful songs. "My darling little ones," Mommy Bird cooed softly. "The stars are beginning to twinkle, and the moon is rising round and bright. It's time for all sleepy chicks to rest their weary wings." She gathered her babies close, tucking them beneath her warm feathers as the evening air grew cool and still. Little Robin, the oldest chick, nestled closer to his mother. "But the sky is so pretty, Mommy," he whispered, his eyes heavy with sleep, yet trying to stay open. Beside him, his sister Luna yawned a tiny yawn, while the youngest Pip was already snuggling deeper into the cozy nest. Mommy Bird smiled tenderly at her precious chicks. "Would you like to hear the special bedtime song that my mother once sang to me?" she asked, her voice as soft as moonlight on water. The little ones nodded sleepily, their eyes growing heavier with each passing moment. And so, Mommy Bird began to sing, her voice carrying on the evening breeze like flower petals dancing in the air. "Sleep, my little nestlings, safe and warm tonight, while the gentle moon above keeps watch with silver light. Dream of morning sunshine, dream of summer skies, while the stars above you twinkle lullabies." As she sang, the forest seemed to grow quieter, as if nature itself was listening to her soothing melody. The evening flowers closed their petals, and the crickets chirped softly in harmony with her song. Even the old oak tree seemed to cradle the nest more gently in its strong branches. "The day's adventures are done, my loves," she continued, her voice growing softer. "Each moment we shared today is tucked safely in our hearts, like precious seeds that grow into beautiful memories. Tomorrow will bring new gentle discoveries, but now is the time for rest and sweet dreams." Luna's eyes fluttered as she fought sleep just a little longer. "Tell us about tomorrow, Mommy," she murmured. Mommy Bird stroked her daughter's downy head with her wing, her touch as light as a cloud shadow passing over the grass. "Tomorrow the morning will wake us with golden light," she whispered. "The sun will warm our feathers, and the breeze will carry songs of joy. But for now, let's float on dreams as soft as cloud wings, letting our thoughts drift like leaves on a gentle stream." Pip was already breathing deeply, tiny wing twitches showing he was dreaming of future flights. Robin's eyes were now fully closed, a peaceful smile on his small beak. Only Luna remained barely awake, watching the first stars appear through heavy eyelids. Mommy Bird continued her gentle song, weaving words of comfort and love into the quiet night air. "Rest your tired wings, my darlings, safe within our nest. While the moon sails overhead, your dreams will be blessed. Every leaf and flower nods, every creature knows it's time for baby birds to sleep while evening's garden grows." The night grew deeper, wrapping the forest in its velvet embrace. Fireflies began their gentle dance among the branches, their soft lights twinkling like earthbound stars. A warm breeze carried the sweet scent of night-blooming jasmine, adding its peaceful perfume to the evening's lullaby. The forest is preparing for sleep, Mommy Bird cooed, her voice becoming ever softer. Listen to the quiet rustle of leaves, the gentle sighing of the wind. Every creature is finding its way to dreamland, just as you are, my precious ones. Now, Luna's eyes finally closed, joining her brothers in peaceful slumber. Mommy Bird looked down at her sleeping chicks with infinite tenderness, her heart full of love. She continued her gentle song, her voice barely more than a whisper now. Sleep deeply, my treasures, while night spreads its wings. Dream sweetly of morning and all that it brings. Know that you are loved, safe in your cozy nest, while the moon keeps watch over your peaceful rest. The night deepened further, and still Mommy Bird sang, her soft melody joining the cricket's lullaby and the owl's gentle hooting in the distance. The stars twinkled their approval as her songs filled the darkness with comfort and peace. Tomorrow will come with new songs to sing, new winds to ride, and new joys to discover, she whispered to her sleeping chicks. But now is the time for rest, for gathering strength, for drifting in dreams as soft as cloud shadows on meadow grass. And as the moon climbed higher in the velvet sky, Mommy Bird settled more comfortably in the nest, spreading her wings protectively over her sleeping family. Her song grew fainter and fainter, becoming one with the night's peaceful symphony, until it was just a gentle humming that blended with the whisper of leaves and the sighing of the wind. The forest settled into its nighttime peace, every creature finding its own sweet dreams. And in the tallest oak tree, in a nest woven with love, a mother bird watched over her sleeping chicks, her heart full of gratitude for these precious moments of peace and togetherness. In a castle made of clouds, high above the sleepy world below, lived a little princess named P. Her hair was as soft as moonlight, and her heart was as gentle as a morning breeze. Princess P had everything a little princess could want, but there was one small problem. She couldn't find the perfect pillow for her royal bed. Each night, as the stars began their twinkling dance across the sky, Princess P would rest her head. But something always felt not quite right. Some pillows were too fluffy, others too flat. Some were too warm, others too cool. There must be a perfect pillow somewhere, she would whisper to her faithful companion, a snow-white kitten named Marshmallow. One peaceful morning, as golden sunbeams filtered through her window, Princess P decided to embark on a gentle quest to find her perfect pillow. Marshmallow stretched lazily and padded along beside her as she set out into the Cloud Kingdom. Their first stop was the Whispering Willow Grove, where the wisest tree in the kingdom swayed softly in the breeze. The ancient willow's leaves brushed against the ground like silk ribbons dancing in the wind. "Dear Willow," Princess P asked politely, "might you know where I can find the perfect pillow?" The willow's leaves rustled softly as it spoke. "Visit the dreamy sheep in the Valley of Soft Things. They know all about comfort and rest." Princess P thanked the willow and continued her journey, with Marshmallow purring contentedly by her side. As they walked through meadows of cotton-soft flowers, butterflies with wings like painted silk fluttered nearby, leaving trails of sparkly dream dust in their wake. The air grew warmer and softer, like a gentle hug from a beloved grandmother. In the Valley of Soft Things, they found the dreamy sheep. their wool as fluffy as morning clouds. The sheep were slowly drifting across their pasture, looking like little clouds themselves. The oldest sheep, whose wool was the color of moonlight, spoke in a voice that reminded Princess P of warm milk and honey. "The perfect pillow, dear one, can be found in the Garden of Dreams," the sheep murmured. "But the journey there requires peaceful thoughts and a gentle heart." The sheep gifted Princess P with a tuft of its softest wool, which felt like a warm summer cloud between her fingers. Princess P and Marshmallow continued their quest, following a path made of stardust that sparkled softly under their feet. They passed through the forest of whispers, where the trees sang quiet lullabies, and their leaves fell like feathers, each one carrying sweet dreams. In the heart of the forest, they met a wise old owl who wore a nightcap made of moonbeams. "The Garden of Dreams lies just beyond the sleepy stream," the owl told them with a peaceful hoot. "But remember, young princess, the most perfect things often lie closer than we think." The sleepy stream flowed like liquid starlight, its waters making a sound like gentle humming. As they crossed over a bridge made of rainbow light, Princess P felt her steps becoming lighter, as if she were floating on a cloud of dreams. Finally, they reached the Garden of Dreams. Here, flowers bloomed in colors that seemed to come from inside dreams themselves. Soft blues like twilight skies, gentle pinks like sunset clouds, and silvers that sparkled like starlight on snow. In the center of the garden stood a magnificent pillow tree, its branches heavy with pillows of every size and shape. As Princess P approached the tree, something wonderful happened. The softest breeze she had ever felt wrapped around her like a warm embrace, and she realized something important. The perfect pillow wasn't about finding the right softness or the right shape. It was about feeling peaceful in your heart. With this new understanding, Princess P and Marshmallow made their way home to their cloud castle. That night, as she lay in her bed with Marshmallow curled up beside her, Princess P placed her head on her usual pillow. But this time, it felt different, because now she knew that comfort comes from within, just like the warmth of a happy heart or the peace of a gentle dream. She closed her eyes and smiled, feeling more comfortable than she ever had before. The stars twinkled their approval outside her window, and the moon cast its soft, silver light across her bed. As she drifted off to sleep, Princess P realized that sometimes the most perfect things are the ones we had all along. We just needed to learn how to appreciate them. And so, every night after that, Princess P slept peacefully in her cloud castle, surrounded by the comfort of knowing that true rest comes from a heart full of contentment and gratitude. Marshmallow purred softly beside her, and together they dreamed the sweetest dreams, floating gently in a sea of stars and moonbeams, wrapped in the perfect comfort of their own peaceful thoughts. As the story ends, imagine yourself drifting peacefully like Princess P, floating on your own soft cloud of dreams, letting each breath carry you deeper into comfort and rest until you too find your perfect, peaceful sleep. In a cozy little house on a quiet little street, there lived a young boy named Timmy who had the most wonderful bedtime friend anyone could imagine. This special friend wasn't a teddy bear or a soft blanket, but a beautiful blue toothbrush that sparkled like starlight and spoke in the gentlest whispers. Every evening, as the sun painted the sky in soft purple and orange hues, Timmy would walk up the carpeted stairs to his warm bathroom, where his magical toothbrush waited patiently on its little silver stand. The toothbrush, whose name was Whisper, would softly glow with joy whenever Timmy entered the room. "Good evening, my dear friend," Whisper would say, in a voice as soft as falling flower petals. "Are you ready to make your smile sparkle like the evening stars?" Timmy always smiled at these words, for they were part of their special nighttime routine. Whisper had a special way of making teeth brushing feel like a peaceful adventure. "Let's imagine we're floating on fluffy clouds," Whisper would say, as Timmy added a small dollop of minty toothpaste. Each tooth is like a tiny cloud that needs gentle polishing to keep it white and bright. As Timmy brushed, Whisper would tell stories about the Tooth Kingdom, a magical place where all teeth lived in harmony. In the Tooth Kingdom, Whisper would explain in soothing tones, "Every tooth is like a tiny house, and we must keep their homes clean and happy." Together they would count slowly as they brushed each section of Timmy's mouth. 1, 2, 3, Whisper would softly sing, gentle circles, slow and free. 4, 5, 6, like peaceful rain, making teeth shine bright again. The counting helped Timmy remember to brush long enough to clean all his teeth properly. Some evenings, Whisper would describe the beautiful gardens in the Tooth Kingdom, where toothpaste flowers bloomed under rainbow waterfalls of fresh water. Each drop of water, Whisper would say, helps wash away the daily adventures your teeth have had, just like the evening rain washes the sleeping flowers. Timmy especially loved when Whisper talked about the different teeth and their special jobs. "Your front teeth," Whisper would explain in hushed tones, "are like the friendly doorkeepers of your smile. They greet everyone with warmth and help you take the first bite of your favorite foods. The back teeth," Whisper explained, "were like gentle giants who work together to help grind food into tiny pieces. They're strong but kind," Whisper would say, "and they need extra attention to stay happy and healthy." As they moved from tooth to tooth, Whisper would remind Timmy about the importance of being thorough but gentle. Like petting a sleeping kitten, Whisper would say, "We want to be soft yet careful with each precious tooth." Sometimes when Timmy felt tired, Whisper would share calming thoughts about the nighttime world. Just as the moon watches over the sleeping earth, Whisper would whisper, "Your toothbrush watches over your sleeping teeth." Each evening, they would finish their routine by rinsing with cool, clear water. "Listen to the peaceful sound of the running water," Whisper would say. "It's like a tiny stream in the forest, helping to keep the woodland creatures clean and fresh." After Timmy finished brushing, Whisper would praise him with words as soft as moonlight. "Your smile now sparkles like dewdrops in the morning sun," Whisper would say. "Each tooth is clean and happy, ready for peaceful dreams." Before saying goodnight, Whisper would remind Timmy that taking care of his teeth was a way of showing love for himself. "Just as the stars take care of the night sky," Whisper would say, "we take care of our teeth with patience and kindness." As Timmy placed Whisper back on the silver stand, the magical toothbrush would give one final gentle glow. "Sleep well, my friend," Whisper would say. "Tomorrow we'll share another peaceful adventure in keeping your smile bright and beautiful." Timmy would then walk to his bedroom, feeling clean and content, knowing that his magical friend would be waiting for him the next evening. His teeth felt smooth and fresh, like pearls polished by the gentle waves of the sea. As he drifted off to sleep each night, Timmy would think about Whisper's kind words and the magical Tooth Kingdom. He dreamed of rainbow waterfalls and toothpaste flowers, of smiling teeth living in their tiny houses, and of the gentle adventures they would share tomorrow. And so, night after night, Timmy and his talking toothbrush continued their peaceful bedtime routine, making the simple act of brushing teeth into a magical moment of friendship and care. Each evening brought new stories, soft whispers, and the gentle reminder that taking care of ourselves can be as peaceful as watching the stars twinkle in the night sky. Long ago, in the vast velvet darkness of space, there lived a young planet named Earth. She was a beautiful sphere of swirling blues and greens, wrapped in soft white clouds, like a cozy blanket. Earth loved to watch her family of planets as they moved through space, each one following their own special path around their mother, the warm and glowing sun. Earth noticed that all her planetary siblings moved in their own unique way. Venus would drift by like a golden pearl, while Mars twirled slowly like a tiny red jewel in the distance. Jupiter, her largest sibling, moved with slow, majestic grace, carrying colorful stripes across its enormous form. One peaceful evening, as the stars began to twinkle their gentle light, Earth felt curious about her own movement. She could feel herself turning, spinning like a perfectly balanced top in space. The sensation was so smooth and steady that it reminded her of the gentlest lullaby. "Dear Moon," Earth whispered to her faithful companion, who was always circling nearby, "why do I spin like this?" The moon, glowing with soft silver light, smiled knowingly at his friend Earth. "Let me tell you a wonderful story," the moon replied in his calm, soothing voice. When the universe was young and all the cosmic dust was settling into spheres, a special kind of celestial dance began. This dance started with a great swirling of stardust, like flower petals carried on a warm summer breeze. Earth listened intently as the moon continued his tale. As the dust gathered together to form you and all your planetary siblings, it kept its gentle spinning motion. This motion has stayed with you ever since, like a perfect balance of cosmic forces. The moon's voice grew softer as he explained, "Your spin is what creates the lovely rhythm of day and night. As you turn, one side of you basks in the sun's warm golden light, while the other side rests in cool, peaceful darkness. It's like a cosmic blanket being slowly pulled over and under you, again and again." Earth thought about all the creatures that lived upon her surface, how they depended on this gentle rotation. She imagined the sleepy children closing their eyes as her spin brought the darkness of night, while on the other side, others were waking to greet the morning sun. "Your spin is perfectly timed," the moon continued, his voice as smooth as flowing honey. "It's not too fast and not too slow. It's just right for all the living things that call you home. The trees and flowers need time to rest in darkness, just as they need time to grow in light." As the moon spoke, Earth could feel the peaceful rhythm of her rotation. She noticed how the stars seemed to glide past her like silent ships on a cosmic ocean. The sensation was so soothing that it reminded her of being rocked in an invisible cradle. "Some of your siblings spin differently," the moon explained with a gentle smile. "Venus spins very slowly in the opposite direction, while Jupiter spins much faster than you do. But your spin is special because it creates the perfect balance for life to flourish. Earth watched as shooting stars traced soft, glowing paths across the darkness. She thought about how her spin caused the oceans to move in their endless dance of tides, working together with the moon's gentle pull. The waves rose and fell like the breathing of a sleeping giant. "Your spin also helps to keep you warm," the moon whispered. "As you turn, the heat from the sun is spread evenly across your surface, like a warm bath slowly spinning. This creates the perfect conditions for clouds to form and rain to fall, for winds to blow and seasons to change." Earth felt deeply content, knowing that her spinning motion was so important. She loved how it created the rhythm of life itself, the cycle of day and night, the passing of seasons, the endless dance of time. As eons passed, Earth continued her eternal spin, carrying all her precious life forms through space. She spun with the grace of a ballet dancer and the steadiness of a timekeeper, never rushing, never slowing, just maintaining her perfect, peaceful rhythm. The stars watched over her with their twinkling eyes, and the moon kept her company on her endless journey around the sun. Together, they moved through the cosmos, part of an infinite dance that had begun at the very beginning of time. And so Earth keeps spinning, even now, as you lie listening to this story. She turns with the same gentle motion that has rocked countless generations to sleep. Her movement is so smooth that we barely notice it, like the softest of lullabies playing in the background of our dreams. As you rest now, imagine yourself being carried on Earth's peaceful rotation. Feel the perfect balance of her spin, the gentle rhythm that has remained unchanged for billions of years. Let yourself be soothed by the same cosmic dance that has cradled every living thing since the beginning of time. And as Earth continues her serene journey through space, spinning like the most graceful of tops, she carries us all in her embrace, keeping us safe as we drift into peaceful dreams beneath the starlit sky.